Okay, so wanted to shift gears a little bit and still focused on all the efforts you have underway. But one of the sort of leading pieces of literature on innovation that you and I both have been drawn to is Clayton Christensen's Innovator's Dilemma idea that when you're in a really highly structured historical institution, it tends to be set up to serve a specific world that may no longer exist when new technology comes to the fore. And you recently have decided as an organization to make an acquisition of ODR.com and Resourceful Internet Solutions. And so I'm curious why you made that decision and how it plays into broader principles around strong innovation.
Yeah, this has been a really exciting time for us in acquiring the ODR team and the RIS team. I don't use the word acquiring, even though that's technically what happened. We really feel like we've just found, a new set of partners for scoping out and planning for the future of dispute resolution. As I said before, we've been really busy at the AAA before we joined forces with this team at ODR and RIS, building our own generative AI tools. We have tools for our customers. We have tools for our teams in-house. We're putting them out to market. We can talk about those eventually, but we're going full steam ahead on finding tools that both make our internal operations better, faster, stronger, and our services to users better, faster, stronger. But at the same time, the ways in which we have served the market of businesses, organizations, individuals who want different ways to resolve disputes than traditional litigation have been in pretty in the same lanes. We do a lot of arbitration. We are called the American Arbitration Association, after all. And mediation, of course, has been around for a long time. But there's going to be, more and more demand for new ways to resolve disputes. I mean, people have been resolving disputes on the Amazon platform and the eBay platform with a basically automated decision maker and an ODR process for a couple of decades now, and it's going just fine. And there are lots of disputes that might be better resolved with a lighter touch, faster, quicker, less expensive process than even arbitration or mediation, which are significantly less expensive than litigation, but still, they might not be exactly the right fit for every dispute. As Colin Rule, the CEO at ODR.com, says, we want to fit the forum to the fuss. And sometimes, like an ODR product, an online dispute resolution product with a mediator or not, you could imagine parties, trying to resolve it even without involving a mediator, but having an option for a mediator might be a better forum for a particular fuss. And that's probably going to be true even for many of our legacy clients. You could imagine legacy businesses who will continue to want to use traditional arbitration services for some bet the company disputes, right? They're going to want human beings to look witnesses in the eye and hear them, describe whatever happened to make those really difficult decisions. And those same users might have other disputes where a totally different process will make far more sense. An online process, a faster process, a quicker process. And that's why this particular acquisition made a whole lot of sense for us, because we can continue with this new team to enhance our legacy services and products, which, I think we kind of fit the Clayton Christensen model of a successful legacy organization. And we can continue to do what we do and grow that core, but at the same time, build this new set of businesses for resolving disputes. That is pretty exciting because lots of disputes that maybe just didn't have a place to go before, I think will in the future, given this technology. And we think we're the perfect organization to be there to provide it.
I think that's so cool, both because I love to see the theories in that work come to life and have somebody actually doing what Christensen prescribes in that book. But also because I think it's a good lesson of this era of we're so driven by loss aversion and fear of losing what we have or losing our existing jobs. And what you're doing feels to me like you're not only growing the work of your internal team that already exists, but finding non-disruptive, creative ways to grow new opportunities across the organization and for the broader world, right? So that's very cool.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like you want to make sure you can continuously improve what it is you do right now. That's really important. And so, but you can spend all your time doing that, but you have to at the same time be launching these new solutions for the customers who use your old solutions right now, in case they want those for some of their needs. So it's really fun to be able to doing it all. And honestly, the two teams really get to leverage one another. I've said like 1 and 1 makes a whole lot more than 2 in this case, because it's really fun to think about what we can build together. So
it's also another one of, I think, our mutual friends. Ben Barton has written with Judge Stephanos Bibas of the Third Circuit, Rebooting Justice. I don't know how long ago that book came out, 10 years ago, about online dispute resolution, drawing inspiration from eBay. And so I'm sure they are very excited to see this come to life. Was that part of your inspiration for thinking this through?
yeah, I mean, Colin Rule, who's the CER at ODR.com, is kind of basically the grandfather of online dispute resolution, and he and Ben Barton were roommates in college. So I don't know if you knew that. Yeah,
No.
Colin is not a lawyer. He's not a lawyer. But I don't know anybody who cares more about alternative dispute resolution than Colin Rule. But Ben Barton wrote of him, I wish I had the quote up, something like, he's the most dangerous kind of entrepreneur. He said he's not that great of a technologist. He's not a lawyer. He's not really an expert in, how lawyers resolve disputes, but he's the most dangerous type of entrepreneur, a true believer. He really believes in the mission of giving people better tools to resolve disputes in ways that, preserve as much of, what they want to preserve as possible. So yeah, Colin Rule was an inspiration for Ben Barton. I had Ben Barton speak to the Michigan judiciary at our all judge conference 5 or 6 years ago. So it's kind of fun for me to now be working with Colin.
That is a very cool fun fact. I love Ben Barton. And mission-driven entrepreneurs and change makers are very hard to dissuade and deter. So that's amazing. And I would put firmly in that category of a mission-driven change maker. And I know for a very long time, you have been sounding the alarm bell about the civil justice crisis and the access to legal services, including dispute resolution for the average person and small business. So how does this acquisition and your broader strategic vision for the AAA align with your longstanding goals to really make some movement and progress in that arena?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it all, the generative AI moment informs all of it and makes it all that much more exciting. Yeah, I won't bore you with the numbers, but the 92% of Americans can't afford legal help with their civil justice problems, and that includes not only small businesses but also most medium businesses. Most medium businesses are legally naked; they just can't afford lawyers, so they do their best to muddle through what we know is, a weird language with weird rules that are hard to find. In fact, they're sometimes hidden. That's kind of unfair, and therefore many civil disputes people try to navigate on their own and then they just give up on. I think this new technology and, a mission-driven entrepreneur like Colin Rule, who wants to, change the way humanity resolves disputes, gives us an opportunity to reach this big blue ocean that lawyers couldn't fish in before, right? I think there are going to now be tools for providing an operating system for people to resolve disputes and for lawyers, frankly, to help them, creative lawyers who want to help them with new business models. That to me is really exciting. It feels like perhaps the breakthrough that those of us who care about access to justice have been, thinking about and talking about for a long time. You very much among them. So I am excited that with the team at ODR.com, we're going to be able to probably stand up processes that are fast and fair and trustworthy for disputes that typically people gave up on or tried to navigate on their own and were dissatisfied with where it took them.